Hi guys, this is Amanda and welcome to Mandy Pinecone Crafts. Today is January 24th, 2016. Welcome back to all returning viewers and welcome to all new viewers. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Mandy Pinecone. So this week I've got a couple finished objects, my works in progress, and a little bit of stash, and then a winter camp update. So let's start with the finished objects. I have finished my birthday socks out of Cupcake Yarns Watermelon Stitch Surfer set, but when I put them on the sock blockers, I lovely noticed that this sock is about an inch shorter than this one, so once I get done recording, I'm going to start a VKN for winter camp, and anybody else who wants to join and rip out the ribbon and then pick up the stitches here, because I'd also dropped a stitch here that I want to actually pick up. I sewed in, but I can unsew it and pick it up so I actually have the right amount, and then add the other inch in this speckly dark pink, and then redo the ribbing, which will shouldn't take that long. But yeah, I'm calling them done because they're bound off right now. They were living in a Tangled Skein CA bag. The lovely Sue has made me a couple custom ones of fabrics that I've found. This one is cows, and I love this cow because the spot looks like a heart, and then the inside says moo on that one. I had finished a couple blanket squares using for the center of my next blanket, because I've got one mitered square blanket going that's just no makers and bigger squares of Cupcake Yarns. So I've still got a bunch of the bigger squares here to do around the edge. This one is actually almost perfect for my side of our king size bed, because I'm always cold, and this is a nice thing to put over my side of the bed where I can wrap up in it. So I'm starting another blanket. These are 31 stitches on size 1.5. I'm using a couple, some carbon DPNs. So that is the center, and then I'm going to pick up around the square using the next set of minis, which our next set is going to be my Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs minis, because that way I can break up the dwarfs into some smaller minis for the gang. Some of them actually in their packages that are going out tomorrow morning have some of the Snow White minis already in it, because I already made those up, but I want to make sure I have enough to do my blanket before I make up any more. So the blanket right now is living in a Stitch Together 4G, made by the lovely Amanda of the Stitching Me, You, and More podcast, and she's got an Etsy shop. It's a very Valentine's Day fabric that has hearts and love letters, but I don't care. I use it year round because I love the hearts, the pink. And the inside of this one is pink chevrons. So, and then the other thing that I finished, I have to mail out a bunch of packages. I wanted to make a couple birthday cards and Valentine's Day cards for everybody, because I'm not going to send them another package until after probably birthdays, Valentine's Day. So this is one I made, just embossed. I've got an embossed template that just did this, and then just took some ink and went over the raised piece, and then For these, I just stamped out, I've got a bunch of Valentine's Day stamps and stamped it out and then just put it on some Valentine's Day fabric. So just simple cards. I think there was 10 Valentine's Day cards and 5 birthday cards that I made. That's what I did yesterday morning. So whips. Since I finished the socks, I cast on another pair of socks because they're easy for me to take to and from work. So the next set is out of some Night Owl fibers. Yeah, because that's got our address in it, and I don't want to show the address. This is the lovely Rachel's yarn, and it's done in the My Favorite Things colorway. So these aren't actually for me. My friend Tanya, I was joking with her that I would knit her a pair of socks, and she found this. We were looking at Night Owl fibers for some reason, and she fell in love with this colorway, and I told her if she really wanted a pair of socks out of it, I would knit her a set. So she had her boyfriend for Christmas and buy her the yarn, ship it to my house, and then when I get done, I will mail out her package, and with the socks and all. So they're gonna be 72, a plain vanilla sock on size 1s, which are 2.25, Addi Turbo with 72 stitches. That should be big enough. I don't know why I picked this up to knit it, but and then that is also living in a wee bag by Sue of the Tangled Skein CA bag, or CA. That is the wee size. That's normally what I have purchased from her, is because I find I can use them for a bunch of different things, and I'm the type of person that I will put 2 or 3 projects in my purse because I have no clue what I want to work at while I'm at work, and I'm lucky enough that I get a full hour lunch break, so I can do whatever, and I usually just sit in our break room and knit on whatever project I happen to be wanting to work on. I do get lovely funny looks. When I first started doing that, everybody would ask, would look at me funny, but now most people come in, see what I'm doing, wanting to know what I'm working on. I've only had a couple people tell me that or want me to knit them things, and it's like, you can't afford it. It's easier for them to go buy something in the store than have me do it. A couple of them I've asked, and I have knit a couple like little baby objects for people at work, but nothing too big. So the next whip I have, also in a custom Sue bag. This one has Disney princesses on it, and I'd found the fabric at my local Joann's, picked it up, and asked Sue if she would make a couple bags for a bag out of it for me, because I made sure that I got a full Snow White on both sides because that's my favorite, and then the inside is a satiny watercolor princess fabric. So living in this bag is my Across the Pond shawl, which I'm calling my Across the Border shawl because it's using some lovely Juliana fiber hearts in the Lucid sock in the carousel color. She had some of these up in her shop the other day. I love it because it's the pink. And then I'm going to use some teal tonal from Rachel of Love Knots as the border. And so I've got I think it's one pattern repeat of the main body done, which I think I've got to do 11 for the small. I'm going to see how wide it is. I might do the large, but the large is supposed to be 86 inches, and that seems really long to me because I'm only 5'5", somewhere around there, but I'm also a smaller girl, so that seems really wide to me, so I might just do the small. I haven't quite decided yet. I will figure that out later on. And the only other thing I've worked on this week is my Disney Princess stained glass cross stitch. So I've filled in down here, and then her bikini top is what I've been working on this week. And then I've got needle minders from Brandy, and then a couple other ones that I've picked up. I've got Ariel down here, and then the princesses up here in a heart. Because I'll put my pattern page here, so I can just go across the, look across the page instead of looking up and down. And then I also did work a couple rows on my sweater, which is out of Madeline Tosh Merino Light in the Pop Rocks. I've got 3 skeins of this. And then I figured out last night what I'm doing for the, because I've got 3 skeins of it. Each skein is 420 yards, so that gives me 1280. I think I need 1300 for my size, so I'm about 20 yards short. And plus, I'm going to lengthen the body a little bit because I've got a longer torso, so sweaters hit me if I knit them on my size to where they're supposed to be. Will hit just like the pant leg where your jeans hit. I wanted to cover my ass a little, or my butt a little bit. Oops. So I'm going to, at the bottom, take the patterning off of the Drips Colorwork hat by Beverly Hill, I think. Yes, Beverly Hill. It looks like paint dripping down it. So I'm going to take that pattern and do probably about 4 inches of some Knit Picks Chroma in the Bear colorway, which is a off-white white, so it looks like it's gonna look like that. And yeah, so I put probably, yeah, let's grab this out. It's a mess right now because once I figured out what I was gonna do with the white, I decided to leave the body alone because I want to make sure I have enough pink to do the full length sleeves, and then I'm also, with the sleeves, going to add a thumb hole. So I'm going to bring the sleeves so that they actually hit about here, and then put a thumb hole in it so I can do this. This is the Flax Light by Tin Can Knit. So I've got that. So I've got 2 balls right now attached because I've picked up and knit probably 4 rows on the sleeves and then 4 rows on the body since you last saw it. So not a lot. The sweater I wasn't in the mood to knit it, but I think after I fix my socks, I'm going to work on the sleeve. So yeah, because I want to get the sleeves done so when I do the body, I know exactly where I have to work in the cream here. because I do want to make sure I save enough of the pink for at least a blanket square for my blanket, if not a couple other of the lovely ladies that I talk to on a daily basis, because I know a couple of them love the Madeline, the Tosh Merino Light, and it's the hot pink, and it's mine. And then this is living in a shawl size bag from Sue. And then this has also got pink chevrons on the inside. So yeah, that's everything I've worked on this week. The little bit of stash I have is I ran out of a floss glue that I was using for my cross stitch piece, so I had to run to Joann's, and then the day that I was planning on, the day before I was planning to run to Joann's, Sarah of the Canadian Knitter podcast had lost, one of her lovely black kitties had passed away. So I found this pretty fabric that has kitties and knitting and sewing on it. Here's what I'm looking for. And then on it, let me find where he is this cute little black kitty that looks like her. So I'm going to make her a box bag out of this fabric, and then we'll see what I have left over, because I want to make sure the little black little kitty that's sitting here is on the center of both sides when I cut it. So we'll see how much fabric I have left of that, and I might make a couple other bags for a couple other of the ladies that I chat with, because all of us are, or most of them have cats that are somewhere in that look like someone in there. And then as I walked in, they had all their Valentine's Day fabrics out. Well, I'm a sucker for anything that has hearts, pink, things like that. So I picked up a quarter of a yard of a couple of the fabrics. I'm either going to make notion, and this one is going to be a notions bag for me, because you can't cut down down the fabric enough so you don't lose the hearts for DPN holders. So it's this lovely, and the gold hearts are actually metallic, so I actually love this fabric. And then I've picked up this one, which has love written in a couple different colors, and then some red heart, swirly hearts. So that's all I picked up, all I got this week, and that's all I've worked on. So this past week I had Monday, Tuesday off. So Monday I recorded, Tuesday I stayed home, mostly worked on my cross stitch, just because that's what I was in the mood for. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday I worked all day, and then was working on my socks. So the socks I finished the first one Tuesday night. The second one here I cast on the toe Tuesday night, was a couple inches into here, and then worked mostly the foot Wednesday night on the VKN. Did the heel and cuff, or the heel at work on Thursday, knit up the leg, finished the leg on the VKN on Friday night. So yesterday I started Tanya socks, did a couple of the cards, and things like that. Nothing really big going on with me this week. I've got a couple friends coming into town, I think, or my husband's friends coming into town tomorrow, so we're going to do a couple things with them tomorrow night. Yeah, so we'll see what I get done this week. I'll probably end up recording next Sunday because I'm off again. The way my schedule works, I have a 4-week rotating schedule. So every 4 weeks, I'll have a weekend off. But if I have the weekend off, I end up working 6 days straight. So I don't have another day off until next Thursday. And then Lovely put my knitting the socks as quickly as I did. I keep on putting the sock needle through like a cut that I have made on my finger, so that's what the Band-Aid's for. So yeah, that's it. For those of you who are not interested in winter camp information, have a good week. I will see you next week. For those of you who are staying around, winter camp is a group on Ravelry. It's a 3-month points-based knit along that's put on by Sarah of the Canadian Knitter. It was her idea, and then we've got 7 other cabins. So we've got Sarah, which is Team Polar Bear, Sue and Lynn of Two Tangled Skeins. Sue is Team Arctic Fox. Lynn is Team Ermine. You have Jen of the Uncreative Crafter, which is Team Snowy Owl. You have Andrea of the Cat Lady Podcast, which is Team Snow Leopard. You have Jessica of Sarah Nova Crafts, which is Team Arctic Fox. I know I'm missing one. And then you have Amanda Stitching You and More, which is Team Panda. And then I'm doing the Day Campers, which is Team Puffin. You can still join Team Puffin up until the middle to end of March. It's a points-based system of what you use for weight, how much yarn by weight you use. So my socks, once I fix it, should be about 50 grams used, because right now they sit at, I think, 48. So I should be able to add another at least 2 grams in the next inch to get these to 50 grams. So if I use 50 grams of a fingering, which is what this is, you get 14 points. So I'll end up with probably 14 points depending on how much I add to this, how much weight I add to this. My 4 blanket squares that I finished will give me a point each. And then I think I'm in the mood to cast on one of my bigger squares, but I think I need to wait out what my bigger squares actually use, because I might be able to get more points, because anything over 50 or anything over 10 grams, your squares, I think Sarah said you could count it as by weight, because I think these are over 10 grams because they are 97 stitches on a size 1, and I've lovely dribbled coffee on that one. Oh well, it needs to go through the wash anyway at some point. So last week I'd asked Team Puffin to answer where was the most unusual place for you to knit. I got 2 responses. One was Crafty Lynette and the other was Cappuccino. What is her? There's, I think, 316. Let me just double check that. So instead of picking between the 2, I'm going to give each of you guys, it's Cappuccino, here, she posted it. Yeah, Crafty Linetter and Cappuccino, yeah, 316. If both of you guys want to PM me, once you've seen this, I will give you guys each 15 points, because I was going to do a random draw for 25, but decided since the only 2 of you guys have answered the question, I will do 15 each. So Crafty Linetter and answered the strangest place she knit was my daughter's bedroom. She's a new knitter, so she doesn't recover. She's recovering from a slip disc, so hopefully that slip disc is feeling better soon, and you get to knit in some strange places. And then Cappuccino 136, her answer was where is it? Was like the lobby of the theater, which she doesn't do anymore. See, my knitting goes everywhere. Probably the strangest place I've knit personally was standing in line at Disney. I was waiting in line for the new Beauty and the Beast ride, and it was a lovely long line. So I pulled out my socks that I was working on, which happened to be a Belle color, the Till Old Time colorway from Cupcake Yarns. So I was sitting there knitting on those while waiting in line. Because my socks go everywhere. They live in my purse, and all that. And now I'm just actually noticing you can actually see the paintings on the wall. This actually, I've done both this one and the Ranger logo. This is the dark, I'm painted for my husband. It's the Dark Side of the Moon Dark Side of the Moon cover album from Pink Floyd, and then also did, when we first got together, the Ranger logo that sits over here, because we're both big Ranger fans. So those are other 2. And Jen, acrylic paints don't go bad. They will harden up after a while, so if they're still pliable, you can add a little bit of water to them, and they will actually work. So that's it for this week's episode. Have a good week, everybody. Bye.